It feels impossible to consider how animation was created before the digital era. Disney claims 300,000 drawings were used in the 1940s movie Pinocchio. The film runs 88 minutes long, which roughly translates to around 60 frames per second, with each frame requiring meticulous conceptualization, ink, and color. And even after that entire process, the drawing could still be denied. Over 20 professional animators were tasked with making Pinocchio a reality, which was eventually achieved after 2 long years. And then there's Cuphead. A game that entered development in 2010 by a 2-person team, Studio MDHR, and 1 additional animator, 3 people total. They've obsessively recreated that nostalgic hand-drawn animation style to bring every second of the game to life. I've got over 6 hours of recorded gameplay, and I could honestly pick any moment to showcase and it'd be just as gorgeous as the others. There are such minute details here that I almost wish I could watch someone else play the game while I sat behind them and just appreciated the watercolor backdrops or the many expressions on the enemies' faces. Everything from the music, the title screens, and even the tutorial level were all specifically chosen to fit this theme, and there isn't a single instance of something that feels out of place. Enemies offer a variety of attacks, and no boss feels phoned in. Each encounter is uniquely challenging, and more important, all the attacks are specific to the enemy you're facing. There's one enemy that's a carrot, and uses a homing shot ability, but they make it work because his facial animation and his body language take on this mental state. It's very obvious what's going on. And to push that idea further by having the projectiles be carrots, at the same time the game utilizes the playfulness of cartoons, where a squid doesn't just shoot you with ink, he takes out an ink bottle and a quill and starts whipping ink everywhere. And my personal favorite boss, which is this rat in a tin can tank. The ideas are so absurd, so ridiculous, so original that I find myself infatuated by the sheer freshness of it all. The couple issues that I do have with this game are few and far between. Of course, I want to give credit where it's due, but simultaneously there's also room for improvement that games should strive for. Before I say a single bad thing about this, I want to let you know that you shouldn't be on the fence about Cuphead. It's easily one of the best $20 I've spent in a long time. The first improvement that could be made were the run and gun levels. They were obviously added in for diversity, but they just don't feel quite as fluid as the other boss levels, and I personally believe that's because it heavily relies on character movement. Cuphead is a fantastic 2D shooting game, but I wouldn't consider it a platformer. The jumping and movement are simple and they get the job done, but they aren't as fun as platforming with, say, Super Meat Boy, which has created their focal point around the perfect jump. The acceleration of a jump in Super Meat Boy feels realistic, and there's enough movement so that precision landing is possible. In Cuphead, there's enough movement to get the job done and avoid projectiles, but the game relies on its simplicity almost to a fault from a technical stance. The coding is definitely where the game could have excelled with adding more weight to Cuphead's movements. They got the expressions down, but there isn't any downtime when you change directions or when you speed gain while jumping. The actions are all very quick and rigid, which doesn't really jive with the fluid animation. The movement doesn't have any weight, so of course the levels that require the most movement feel uninspired. I'll also mention that this game offers some replayability, but I can't see myself picking the game up for a while since I've finished it. Common ways that game developers have added replayability is through challenges or collectibles, and although Cuphead offers a grade at the end of each level, there's simply no incentive to go back and achieve that perfect score. From what I can tell, there's no in-game ability or unlockable for completing this task. I have heard that you can unlock a secret monochrome mode by completing the run and gun levels without killing a single enemy though, and that's a start, but it doesn't offer a new way to play. My favorite example of replayability is with Nazi zombies on Call of Duty. It's a wave-based survival mode, and you will eventually die, but you can get further each time and you can continue improving your skill. Maybe Cuphead should release a mode where the enemy never truly dies, but keeps cycling its abilities faster and faster until you can no longer keep up. That would be fun, as well as have a great incentive for you to keep improving your skill. Just an idea, but there are many ways of manipulating the code to keep the players enticed. Either way, for what Cuphead was, I still consider it a fantastic game. I'm very happy to give it an 85 out of 100.